Selamat siang, doctors. Selamat siang. Selamat datang. Welcome to OneSmile. I think we get going. What do you think? Bagus? Yeah, bagus. I like it. Okay. Well, what a week. We have been traveling. Delapan, 8 seminars back to back over 10 hari, starting in Melbourne, then Sydney, then Central Coast, New South Wales, Brisbane, Singapore, Kuala Lumpur, Bali last night, and then today at our factory operations, Jakarta. Yeah, the best, yeah? Bagus, bagus, bagus. So it's been a very amazing trip. Nama saya Matt, the CEO and founder of OneSmile. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We've got a very exciting lineup today. OneSmile has been evolving with a lot of innovation over the last 12 months. And we can't innovate without our partners. And our partners, of course, are dental monitoring out of Paris, France. But it all starts not just at a scan, it starts at treatment planning. Full diagnosis treatment planning of clear aligner therapy. What the other companies cannot do. So we're very, very lucky to have our treatment planning partners, which is Clear TPS and Clear Forward, out of the US, Costa Rica, and also out of Amsterdam. And you're going to have the opportunity to hear from Dr. Montoya, orthodontist himself. He's up the back at the moment. And also the CEO of Clear TPS, Clear Forward, Sheldon. He's up the back as well. So it's very, very exciting. Now, we come with a lot of orthodontic and also clear aligner history. Combined, just Dr. Montoya, Sheldon, and myself is over 60 years of knowledge when it comes to orthodontics and clear aligner therapy, which is super exciting. So put your hands up if you've done a OneSmile case today so far in your career. Who's done a OneSmile case? Dr. Mary, I know you have. Anyone? 2? Who else is? A few more up the back here. Fantastic. Who's used Invisalign? Put your hand up. Anyone? No? We've got a couple. A little bit of Invisalign. Anyone used Angel? Angel Align? No? Who here has never done a clear aligner case? Put your hand up. Okay, so majority have never done a clear aligner case. But you've all done braces, brackets, wires, and tubes? Takes a very long time, doesn't it? Absolutely. So hopefully I won't talk too quickly. If you do have any questions about what we're talking about and going through today, if you can leave them to the end of each session, and then we can answer those questions. And we do have a lot of our team here who speak a sedikit more Bahasa than me, which is great. So please ask your questions in Bahasa, and we can translate that, of course, for you. So why OneSmile? Why are we here? We're going to take you through why we are not a product. We're a full end-to-end clear aligner solution, starting at fully diagnosed orthodontic treatment plans, powered then by, of course, our biocompatible polyurethane material, and supported, of course, to give you transparency with dental monitoring out of Paris, France, and combining all of those units together. Of course, we are the ultimate solution now with our new innovation, which is proactive orthodontics, whereby we now stage every single case. And I'm going to take you through that. So who's excited? Let's have some fun, yeah? Okay, let's get into it. I hope my clicker is working. Time is up. I'm getting that down here. Okay, so before OneSmile, this is what you are all having to deal with in the clear aligner market today. 2 weeks ago, I was in Las Vegas, United States, at the Orthopreneurs Conference with the biggest orthodontists in the US, North America markets, and also Canada. And I was talking with Invisalign, I was talking with Angel, I was talking with Spark, I was talking with ClearCorrect, all the big brands which are listed on stock exchanges. They have no founders like me in their businesses anymore. They make too much money out of all of you. And so with that, what we find, they're financially focused, where we're patient-driven, we're patient-focused. Now, one thing with these companies is their refinement rates are increasing. They're going up and up and up and up. And what we saw is today, the current refinement rates with Invisalign and the other brands, Angel, is sitting at 2.6 times for every single case, whether that's in the middle or at the end of the case. So that means those cases are taking a very, very, very long time to treat. Okay? So why is this the reason? The reason is that 100% of these companies are forbidden to diagnose a case for you. They cannot. They're forbidden by the FDA. What that means is when you submit a case with these companies, you take the patient information, I'll be your patient, you take the intraoral photo, extraoral photo, and then you put in your iOS scan, your intraoral scan from an iTero, Trios, Medit, Shining 3D, one of these scanning solutions. They don't ask for panoramic or cephalometric x-rays. They don't ask for CBCTs. You know why? Because there's no clinically trained person, a dentist or an orthodontist, on the other end of that screen. So what I like to call them, I call them grab drivers or Gojek drivers. They're dental technicians if you're lucky, but majority of the time they're not even that. So they can't diagnose a case. So when they send back a ClinCheck, you know what a ClinCheck is? The 3D digital view of the teeth. And you go, bagus, it looks bagus, yeah? A skeletal class 3 case looks perfect. I treat with aligners. And if you press accept, it's going to fail. Literally 100% of the time, every time. It's because there's no diagnosis with these cases. That's a big problem. So what they rely on is an algorithm and one arch form, like that, one arch form. What is the population of planet Earth? Does anyone know? Dr. Mary? It's 8.2 billion people, or thereabouts at the moment. How many arch forms? Who's the orthodontist here, by the way? Put your hands up, please. Orthodontists? How many arch forms are in orthodontics? Arch forms. So you've got your narrow arch, you've got a standard arch, broad arch, you've got, lots of different arch. Lots. Okay. So how can one arch form be the same for everyone here in the world? That's what you get with Invisalign, that's what you get with Angel, that's what you get with ClearCorrect, that's what you get with all of the companies, because they cannot diagnose. But also, how many different biotypes are there on Earth? I'm Anglo-Saxon. Asian. Got 2 in the room here, probably more. So how can this be the same for myself and you? It's not. And then how come you've got kids, phase 1, phase 2, teenagers, adults? How can we all have the same arch form? It doesn't work. It's non-mathematical and non-scientific. So this is where it fails. No diagnosis, and taking everyone to a single arch form, okay? Big problem. On top of that, all these brands, for the doctors that have actually done clear aligner therapy, what happens is you're going to spend on average around 10 hours with these patients. Sepuluh hari. Jam, thank you. Thank you. You're listening. Sepuluh jam. What that means is, and I'll show you, from when you first have the patient coming into your clinic, and I say, doctor, I'm here to straighten my teeth, or I'm here for a restoration, straightening my teeth, or I'm here for aesthetic, straightening my teeth. By the time you take my scan, and by the time I get into retention, that's getting out of active aligners, you're going to spend around 10 clinical hours with me over that whole duration. That's why they created the 3-year and the 5-year comprehensive case types. It's because they can't diagnose, they've got no compliance with the patients, and it keeps failing. So that's the time that you have to spend with me. Now, what does that do to your bottom line, your profitability per case? It diminishes, and I'm going to show you how that works as well. So, we can't diagnose cases with those brands. They're going to take 10 hours of your clinical time to get the patient out of treatment. But then also, when the patient is in treatment, when they're not in your clinic, you can't see them. You can't see anything. What does that mean? I'm your patient, Matthew. I come to you, I get my clear aligners, okay? I'm happy. You tell me to wear these 22 hours a day, every day, correct? Take them out for eating and cleaning. Make sure I floss. Yes, good oral hygiene. And then when I put them back in, use my chewies to seat the aligners accurately, and then change them every 7, 10, or 14 days. So you've got to imagine a patient is like, they have to learn a lot. And then you'll recall me back to your practice about every 6, 8, 10, or 12 weeks, correct? Yes? So when I leave your practice, I go, wow, wear my aligners 22 hours a day, every day. Take them out for eating and cleaning. Make sure I floss. Use my chewies to seat the aligners back of my arch. And then I change them every 7 days, because the doctor told me 7. And then I come back in 6 weeks' time, so I put in my phone 6 weeks' time. So when I leave the practice today, and then I'm at home or overseas for 6 weeks, what can you see in that period of time? Nothing. So how do you know I'm being compliant? How can you see that my teeth are tracking? How can you see that these are fitting me? How can you see that I'm not in trouble and I'm losing control of the case? You cannot see anything. You see nada. This is what we've changed. So 90% of all cases face tracking issues with these brands. 90% plus. That's a lot. So this is what it kind of looks like, that 10-hour time trap. So I've kind of grouped it together for all of these different sections within the business, and I'll open it up again on the next slide. So your consultation and intraoral scans. Who here has an intraoral scanner in their clinic? Put your hands up. iOS scanner. Who? How many? So a lot of doctors, you do impressions still? Okay, PVS impressions. Okay, we need to change that as well. Because when you're dealing with impressions here in Indonesia, similar to Australia in the hot climates like Queensland, where I'm from, when they're going from your clinic to the laboratory, you've got heat and you've got deviation. And we try and mitigate, remove deviation as much as possible. That's why intraoral scanning is 100% accurate to a micron. We'll get to that. So when we look at your clinic time with these aligner brands, 1.5 hours consultation and doing scans and impressions is even longer. You then, of course, have your deliveries to insert the aligners to the patient. It takes about 1 jam, not hari, 1 jam to insert the aligners, put the attachments on, do any IPR. You call it slicing here? IPR, interproximal reduction? No, don't do that. Dr. Montoya heard about this in Bali last night, and he goes, slicing? He goes, yeah, wow, it's like a cake. In Australia, it's like going to the butcher. So try and use IPR. It's a very clinical, way of talking about interproximal reduction. So when the case fails, that's what you're going to be spending clinically on your cases, about 3 hours. And then when you recall the patient for those 15-minute time slots, break down 2 hours to 15-minute slots, there's 8 there. That's when you recall the patient to check whether the aligners are fitting. Now, do you think you can see with your eyes and your fingers with the patient in the chair if an aligner is active or passive? Can you see it a micron? Does anyone know how big a micron is? Dr. Mary, I think you know. You've heard this before. A micron is 1,000th of a millimeter. Our eyes cannot see it. An intraoral scanner, a Nitero, Trios, or Medit scanner, scans at 30 micron. Your hair, I don't have much, but your hair is 100 micron. So we cannot see 30 micron. It's too tight. So your fingers and eyes can never tell whether an aligner is active or passive when it's in a patient's mouth. So we call those recall appointments you do imaginary aligner checks because you can't see anything. So these appointments here, it's a cost to your business. Checkups, costs. So when you break it down and add up all of the time you spend with a patient, it's well over 10 hours. This is what it looks like in your clinic. Let me walk you through this. So what you can see on the far left is this is when the patient comes into your clinic to do an intraoral scan, or you have to do an impression of the patient, a PVS impression. So a PVS impression will take longer than that. The mix, the PPE, get the patient in, do the upper maxilla, do the mandibular, right? Then you have to take the bite with a wax bite. So you need to make sure that that's correct. Send that off to the laboratory. They have to pour it up in a wet lab. It's a process. With an intraoral scan, it can be done in about 6 minutes in the practice, and it's accurate. You then have, of course, your 30-minute consultation with the patient. What does Matt want? What does the patient want? What am I here to do? Am I here just to straighten my teeth? Am I here for crowns and bridges? Am I here for anything else restorative? Or am I here for aesthetics? Have I got chipped teeth? What am I trying to achieve? Do I want to get rid of the black corridors in my smile? Do I want to expand my smile? That conversation is going to take around 30 minutes or longer. Once we've done that, we take all the records. So I'm going to take my intraoral photos, extraoral photos, my iOS scans, and with these companies, that's it. It's very simple, Invisalign, Angel, and ClearCorrect. There's not a lot of work to be done. You put that into your computer, and then the technicians of these companies will send you back a clean check. Then you go backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards, backwards and forwards. So I'm being very generous of giving 30 minutes for a clean check. It's normally a lot longer than that. We then, of course, we press approved on that treatment plan of those companies, and they get all the aligners back into your clinic. That's where you have to spend 1 hour to, of course, do any attachments, IPR, and explain to the patient all those things you need to do. Wear your aligners 22 hours a day, every day. Take them out for eating and cleaning, flossing, etc. Change them every seven days. And then come back and see me in 6, 8, 10 weeks. And then, these are the recall appointments, 15-minute time slots. And then when it fails because you can't control the case, You have to start the whole thing again here. Go through the same process. Put everything in the bin. You've experienced this, I'm sure, doctors. It's a long process. That's why they have the 3-year, 5-year comprehensive case types, because you can't complete the cases. So we then finally get the patient into retention about 3 years later. They're burnt out, you're burnt out, but also the profitability of your case has completely gone. So this is why we built OneSmile. I've been in the industry for 20 years, and my colleagues have been in the industry as long. I'm a mechanical engineer with an MBA. I'm not a doctor, but I do the manufacturing of our product. And I'm the founder of it, and we have our orthodontists that do all the treatment planning. One thing we looked at when Invisalign's major patents were rolling off in 2018 is, if we build an aligner company, how do we build it? And my orthodontist said to me, Matt, if you're going to do this, it has to be done the right way. And I said, well, how is that, doc? And he said, 100% of the cases have to be fully diagnosed and treatment planned by a specialist orthodontist that knows what they're doing. And I said, okay. I mean, we were very young back then. We were like 40, 42. And I'd known my doctors since they were postgrads in Australia. And I said, how many cases have you done, doc? And he goes, I've done 5,000 cases of Invisalign. And he's 42. Because in Australia, we do a clear aligner therapy is huge, it's massive. And I said, okay, when did you get good at treatment planning? And he said, about the last 100 cases. And I said, you've done 5,000? He said, yeah. And I said, what happened to the other 4,900 cases? And he said, I'm still trying to finish them. Because when you're doing postgrad in orthodontics, and the orthodontists that know here, you're doing about 120 full fixed braces cases. And in Australia, they were doing that. And they were doing about 4 cases of aligner therapy in their postgrad. So it takes them a long time, and when you're in a busy practice, to learn how to diagnose and treatment plan, invert your mechanics from a pulling device to a pushing device. And then you're working not in like a human space, you're working in a 4-dimensional digital space. So to learn those treatment planning programs, it takes a long time. So my question is to the audience, to the doctors here, if my doctors, orthodontists, have taken that long to learn how to use the treatment planning to get good cases, how long has it taken you? Because all of the brands you currently use today, all of the pressure is on you to diagnose the case and come up with a fantastic outcome for the patients. So this is where we started everything differently. 100% of our cases, when you submit through OneSmile, are fully diagnosed by our specialist orthodontists. Now, our doctors are from the Northern Hemisphere. Dr. Montoya's worked he worked for Invisalign. So did Sheldon. Now, Dr. Montoya's been instrumental in developing over 30,000 treatment plans of clear aligner therapy across all of the brands. Invisalign, Angel, he's worked with ClearCorrect, Spark, with all of them. And he's our clinical director. So he and his team are the ones that are working for you, as well as myself, to fully diagnose your cases. So we need patient information. What do you want to achieve with your patients? What is the outcome? Are we doing aligners to straight teeth? Are we doing aligners to veneers? Are we doing aligners to implants? Are we doing aligners to pre-post restorative? Because our orthodontists were general dentists as well. So we have a pre-post restorative aesthetic approach to our clear aligner therapy. You give us the information, and you put it into the portal in Bahasa. We want it from Indonesia in Bahasa. So we can translate on the other end. Because then you're confident in delivering the information because you're in front of the patient. Okay? Bisa? Bisa. Bagus. So with that, we want all the records. We want patient information. We want the intraoral photos, extraoral photos. We want the CBCTs, we want the panos, we want the CEFs, We want all the records because our doctors will then fully diagnose the case for you. Digitally self-trace absolutely everything. Now, our doctors, as I said, are working on the Northern Hemisphere. Those treatment plans will come back in 48 hours on average to your practice, which is super fast. And the doctors that have been working with us already, you'll certainly experience that. And then you're still in control of the cases. You can make modifications where required based on what the patient desires. But we find that orthodontists tend to like our cases because they're fully diagnosed to the biological limits of the patient. They're realistic. They're not a class 3 skeletal case that we're giving you aligners for, which Invisalign will do. We'll stop those cases from going through. Also, if a patient's got bad periodontitis or other issues, we will alert you. We will not give you a treatment plan. You need to fix these problems with the patient first. So we're going to protect you, and we're going to protect your patients as well, unlike the other brands. They'll just give you aligners. So once we have our treatment plan diagnosed and you're happy with it, you press approved. We then have incredible delivery times for you. With staging, we no longer give you all the aligners. It's done in batches of 12. So you approve the case. It's then in your clinic within 5 to 7 business days. And if you need it faster, you're here in Indonesia. We will deliver it to you faster as long as we know. So that keeps the patient motivation up as well, which is super exciting. Fewer clinic visits, most advanced material. We then back it up with dental monitoring. Does everyone know what dental monitoring is? Out of Paris, France? You've seen the video playing while some of you have been here very early, over and over again. Well, dental monitoring is not just a bit of hardware we clip onto our smartphones. It is a full AI, big, deep blue machine learning system out of Paris, France. We have now over 2 million patients in treatment worldwide with all of the clear aligner brands, but also we have over 3 billion scans. So you're going to learn a bit about dental monitoring today because it's been developed by all of the doctors. All of you have helped develop it, which is incredible. So what this does, it allows your patients to stay outside of the clinic. So what we do, we get the patients to wear the aligners 22 hours a day, every day, just like the other brands. Take them out for eating and cleaning. Use your chewies when you're seating the aligners. But instead of saying change your aligners every 7, 10, or 14 days, which is non-mathematical and non-scientific, we tell the patients to scan every 7 days. Because what we've done with dental monitoring, we've taken the original iOS scan, and we've created a 3-dimensional model, and we put billions of data points all over the teeth, and we've turned your teeth into Google Maps for teeth, which is incredible. Then when the patient scans the first time in clinic, we overlay that over the original scan. Data points go up. We can then see the crown and the aligner. So when the patient scans every 7 days, we can see whether the aligner is active or passive. 8 to 8 maxillomandibular. Now, if all the teeth are passive in that aligner in 7 days, the AI will tell the patient to move on to the next aligner. If not, they'll be held in for another 3 days. They scan on day 10. If it's passive, the aligner's passive, 8 to 8, they can move on and go back to a 7-day scan. If not, they'll go out to 16 days. They'll go 13 days, they'll go out to 16 days, and then come back to 7 days. So our aligner solution breathes with your biology, your compliance, your biology, your compliance, because we're all different. We're all different. Our age groups are different. For kids, our biology is moving faster in phase 1 and phase 2. So why should it be every 7, 10, or 14-day change? It can be quicker. So when you scan, the AI is reading you and your compliance and your tooth movement with the aligners. It's incredible. We also back up all of our cases with a 10-year smile guarantee. No company on earth has ever done this. And the reason why we do it is because we're so confident with our outcomes. From our advanced orthodontic treatment planning, you're going to hear from Dr. Montoya with that, but also our materials and dental monitoring, because what we can do with our retention phase, our patients scan instead of every 7 days, they scan every 3 months. We're our retainers, and if they have a relapse, well, then we'll give a free refinement for that patient. We're very, very confident with that, and it's working. So, we've seen what the other brands do, what they look like in clinic. This is what OneSmile looks like in your clinic. Very, very different. I'll just quickly try and jump back to the other. That's the other one there. That's Invisalign, Angel, ClearCorrect, and Spark, the big listed companies, their workflow in clinic. That's OneSmile's workflow. We can't avoid the front part because we need the patient to come into clinic. You have to have the conversation with them. We have to do a scan just like the others, or you do an impression. Not a fan of impressions, doctors. We actually don't accept impressions at the moment because there's too much deviation with them. So we'll have to find a solution for that if you can't get yourself an intraoral scanner. We have to have the conversation with the patient. What do they want? We have to submit the records to OneSmile. Our doctors will give the treatment plan. We can't avoid that. You need to have the consultation with the patients. Sheldon's going to be here today. He's going to talk to you about how we can increase conversions in practice. But once we get through the inserting of the aligners to the patient, show them how to scan, we no longer have to bring the patients back every 6, 8, 10, or 12 weeks. They can stay in the wild because you're now seeing them more accurately at a micron level every 7 plus 3 days, which is incredible. It's accurate. The AI is driving the aligner change based on the patient's compliance and biology. So these markers here, we no longer have to have them in clinic. The only time we need to recall a patient is there's an oral hygiene issue, which is a profit earn for your business, or we have to add some attachments or do some further IPR once the patient's in stage 2 or stage 3 of the case. But this is where we save you time, and time is money. Quick question. In practice here in Jakarta, do you know what the operational costs are of running a chair in your clinic? Does anyone know? Does anyone know how much it costs when you put a patient in the chair, how much the operational costs are per hour in your practice? That includes the rental on your property, your lease. It includes the utilities, the power. It includes your staff, the security, receptionist, nursing staff, technicians, technology you've got in your practice, milling machines, resins, everything. And then the most valuable time in the practice is you, the doctors, of course. Your time. Does anyone know the operational costs for running a chair per hour? Anyone? Where are the doctors that have done an MBA? So in Australia, it's about 600 or about 6 juta. In the US, it's around about the same as well, per hour. Here, like I did in Bali last night, let's work on 4 juta. A little bit less. Let me show you what that means. Because what we're saving here clinically for your patients to have a more accurate experience is going to save you a lot of money and profit in your cases. Let's just compare against Invisalign. Because everyone knows Invisalign, right? We wouldn't be here, standing and sitting here, if Invisalign didn't exist. So Invisalign created the category. We've just improved it and changed the game. So let's just say Invisalign, a 3-year comprehensive case type, you're charging around 65 juta. Now, if you're doing about 100 cases a year with Invisalign, I'm not sure here who does that, but if you're doing 100 cases a year with Invisalign, you get a 30% discount. So you're classified as a diamond provider. So your lab bill will be around 31 juta. Now, I hope everyone's getting that here. If not, it's a lot higher. It's about 44 juta. So when you look at the appointment cost to run a chair over the 10 hours that the patient's going to be in and out of your practice, break down 4 juta divided by 4 is 1 juta, yeah? 10 hours divided into 15-minute slots, the whole way through the case, that's 40 15-minute slots, or a cost of 40 juta to your practice over the time of the patient starting and getting them in retention. So when you look at the breakdown, and this is if you're a diamond provider of Invisalign, they're not even making money. So you know when you get paid from your patient, it looks like you get a lot of money at the beginning. By the time you finish the patient, it's cost you a lot of money. Now, this is what we've changed. If you look at OneSmile, and I see for some reason in Indonesia, doctors charge around 45 juta for a 3-year comprehensive case type, similar to Invisalign. Now, with that, in Australia, Singapore, and other countries, they charge the same. Same price. Because we've got more advanced technology. We start with fully diagnosed cases by our orthodontic team. We include dental monitoring, advanced materials. Our lab fees are far less because we don't gouge the market. We're a private company. We're not listed on the stock exchange. So we keep it equitable for you and your patients. You're going to spend around 2.5 hours with a OneSmile patient in a 3-year comprehensive case type. Similar running costs for your practice. We're going to be increasing your profit. We're going to be making you around 13 juta per case instead of losing 6 juta per case. And guess what, doctors? Profit is not a dirty word. We all have to make profit. Everyone here, you, me, everyone. The building, so we can operate. Interesting, isn't it? Whoever's done clear aligners in their practice, just go back to your clinic, find a patient that's a 3-year comprehensive case type, look at the patient books, and check out how many times they've been in your clinic from start to finish, do the math, and see how much money you didn't make. It's a painful exercise, but it's well worth it. So, we're going to hear from Dr. Montoya tonight. He's our clinical director. He leads our orthodontic treatment planning team. It's pretty impressive. The turnaround time is within 48 hours once you submit a case to receive that, because our doctors are working when you're sleeping, which is incredible. On top of that, we're smashing the industry refinement rate. So on average, pre-staging, we're sitting around 1.15. Our goal is to get it down to 0.5 per case type. And I'm going to show you how we do that. We do use biocompatible polyurethane material, which has got an extra layer over Invisalign's material. It does not stain like Invisalign, but also with staging, it holds its elasticity a little bit longer. So if a patient's in an aligner longer, that's okay. We get them out and passive into their next aligner. And it's a lot more comfortable as well. We can also, of course, Montoya is going to be talking about our trim line options. We've got multiple trim lines as well, so we can do exactly the same as a line, scalloped, we can do semi-scalloped, we can do straight cut, we can do hybrid, we can have scalloped in the anterior now and straight cut in the posterior with our new treatment planning softwares that we're launching. It's really amazing, so we can actually advance our mechanics. But also with dental monitoring, DDD, it's been a lot of talking. With dental monitoring, we also get the data from the 2 million cases around the world. So we see what velocities work and what don't work. Invisalign, Angel, Clear Correct, Spark, and now I think also the local brand here, which is Clar, they run at 0.25 of a millimeter of their velocities. That's forcing the movements in a lot of areas. We adjust it down because we see that it doesn't work when we're mesializing teeth, distalizing teeth, expanding, doing multiple movements, intrusion, extrusion, rotation, tip torques. So we see what doesn't work. And so our aligners are working even better because we get that data, they don't get that data. It is a bit warm in here, isn't it? See everyone like, so sorry. Is there any way we can turn the air conditioning up, boys? Yeah, that'd be great, thank you. And I've got the big screen. I'm going to have a suntan after this. So, this is a little bit more about dental monitoring. We had this playing, of course, when we were waiting for everyone to come through. This is built by dental professionals. So it comes from general dentists, orthodontists, endo, perio, and DM is going to be expanding into those areas as well in the new year. So please watch.
It all starts with a scan, which marks the beginning of a digital workflow that goes beyond teledentistry. Remote monitoring, powered by artificial intelligence, revolutionizes how you supervise your patients. It enables you to monitor them accurately and more frequently while reducing time for you and your team. Trained by real doctors, Dental Monitoring's AI is driven by the industry's largest image database. It's a multi-layered neural network architecture. And each network has been instructed by dental professionals to analyze specific pathologies with consistent precision. With this innovative monitoring system, you can prioritize cases that require your immediate attention, streamline time-consuming tasks, elevate the quality of care, and embrace smarter orthodontics. Unlock the potential to grow your practice with dental monitoring.
So it all starts with a scan. Every patient scans. DM works with majority of smartphones around the world. Samsung, Apple, the two most popular. But we also have innovations coming to work with the new i17, which was just launched. I think it's been launched over here as well. What they've done there, they've moved the flash to the opposite side of the camera itself, the phone, sorry. So we've got a new LED component which will clip into the current hardware and it will run its own light source. But then next year, we're actually having and launching a whole new scanner which will be Bluetooth to your phone. So it will come with cameras inside. You can just put it inside your mouth. It will digitally annotate every oral condition within the patient's mouth. Whether it's orthodontics, whether it's got a perio issue, whether endo, max, fax, surgical sites, we can see absolutely everything. So there's a lot of innovation coming. And that's all included in OneSmile. It's free. There's no charge to you for hardware. There's no charge for subscription. There's no charge for Smart STL as well. We incorporate everything because we're the DSO across many landscapes through Southeast Asia, Australia, and also the Middle East, across 18 countries. So every patient scans. I have doctors ask, Matt, can you take dental monitoring out of the case types? I'm like, no. Aligners don't work properly without it because you can't see with your eyes at a micron level. It fails all the time. So we're removing those failures out of the case types. This is the dashboard that you'll see, and you'll see this dashboard will innovate as well over the course of the next 3 months. There's 3 different bars at the top. The first one here shows you the patient compliance with their aligners. And this is related to this top line in the next chart. It looks like Squid Games, red light, green light. Has everyone watched Squid Games before? Remember how you run and the doll, red light, green light? So the red light means stop. The green means go. So this will show you the AI is tracking. If a patient gets a green light, they get to move on to the next aligner. Red light means they have to spend another 3 days in that aligner. And you may get groups of them. And this is where you can triage the patient remotely, directly through the dashboard. We also then see the patient's oral hygiene chart. This is brilliant, especially for those patients that don't brush their teeth. We can track it and trace it. We can contact the patient and get them to focus on flossing in these areas. Because if you get tartar buildup, especially down in the lower anterior segment in the 3-1, the 4-1, the 3-2, 4-2, that could potentially slow down the case. So we see that. We see the patient's compliance. And everything is time date stamped. So you cannot hide anymore, patients. We know whether you've been good and we know whether you've been bad. So this is a little bit more about why
we understand
use
your goal,
Give
to
your
achieve a
patients
beautiful
freedom.
smile within the expected time frame, or even earlier. Here's how we can help. You know, traditionally, orthodontic treatments rely solely on in-person visits. If your treatment progresses faster than expected, we won't know until your next visit. So, no shortcuts. If there's an issue during your treatment, we'll catch it at the next appointment, and that sets back your progress. So, your overall treatment timeline may be extended. Are you busy or traveling? Rescheduling visits also adds extra time to your treatment. With only in-person visits, it can take longer to achieve that beautiful smile. This is why we offer you dental monitoring, a smart technology to help us monitor your treatment progress remotely. Take weekly scans from anywhere, and we'll keep everything on track. This way, your doctor knows exactly what's happening with your treatment and how you are progressing, and we can schedule your office visits at the right time. If your treatment progresses faster than expected, we will know right away and you will be ready to move ahead. If there's an issue during your treatment, it will be detected promptly without wasting precious time. Busy or traveling? No problem. You can use dental monitoring anywhere and at any time. It's easy. The dental monitoring app will notify you when it's time to scan. Just follow the instructions. It only takes a couple of minutes each week. The app also makes communicating with our office easier, faster, and more convenient. Dental monitoring has helped thousands of people complete their treatments with fewer delays. But remember, it only works if you take the scans weekly as requested. Experience a quicker path to your perfect smile with dental monitoring.
So this gives your patients freedom to live their life. There's been a lot of research, and we've researched and interviewed patients all over the world that are using dental monitoring to find out how much they enjoy it. It's got like an 88% success rate of patients enjoying using dental monitoring. And why? It's because they actually don't want to come back to clinic. We know that the patients love you and you love the patients, but the traffic, the jam here, the jam in Jakarta, it takes a long time to get places. So the patients, you can see them remotely and they can be anywhere on planet Earth. Or they can be in Bali, or they could be in Bogor, or they could be at, one of the islands somewhere, 17,000 islands here, and you'll still see them, but digitally more accurately. So with that, this is our Generation 3 packaging. This is Gen 3. What do you think? Smaller, isn't it? Looks like Chanel, ladies. Ta-da. Pardon? Apa? Yeah. It is amazing. So it's a lot smaller, but I do have Generation 4 coming. So this here is Generation 4. Ooh. Really looks like Chanel now, doesn't it? So we incorporate everything in a kit, because one thing with Invisalign and all these other brands, and I think even the local brand here, you have to carry the aligners in your clinic, which takes up your real estate. Okay? So what comes in the box? Everything comes in the box. Actually, I'll open this one. It's like opening a beautiful iPhone. So the reason why we can reduce the size is we no longer supply all of the aligners in one hit. We stage absolutely everything to all countries. Now, I'm not sure whether you know, but Indonesia manufactures all the aligners for OneSmile to every country we send them to. So everything is made next door. Now, 90% of our business is offshore, not in Indonesia. It's in Australia, New Zealand, it's in Malaysia, it's in Singapore, it's in the Middle East. And I want to change that. I want Indonesia to be the 90%. And we have an amazing opportunity, one, just because of population, but two, we're building it here, next door. And you can go and have a look after here, once they get me off stage. But inside this box, of course, we have all our aligners. Now, we're also the only green, sustainable clear aligner company on planet Earth. That's pretty important. That's why we don't have plastic bags. But also, the aligners are made of biocompatible polyurethane. Some of the doctors have heard me talk about this before. This, when you break it down into Mother Nature or you recycle it, is carcinogenic. It emits a gas. That gas is cyanide gas. Pretty dangerous stuff. But when it's in this position, just like Invisalign and the other brands that use this material, it's okay. It's biocompatible. But all of our waste material goes to other industries, the gold industry and also the fisheries. So we want these back from your patients. So every case comes with a green recycling bag. We want patients to put the aligners in here and send it back to OneSmile, because we don't want our aligners in Mother Nature. And you need to promote that to your patients. It's very, very important. On top of that, you'll get the scan box. It's included in the kit. Okay? It will come with a medium mouthpiece and a large mouthpiece. Now, with Smart STL staging, we need the patients to use a large mouthpiece. And I'll talk about that in a second. And then, of course, we provide patients with all of their consumable items. So it'll come with the cleaning foam, which is a whitening foam. It'll come with the retainer case, all the chewies, and also the removing tool. So the patient gets everything to go home into the wild and have their case treated. What do you think? It's bagus? Bagus. Fantastic. So Generation 4 will be coming very soon. So it's looking like probably January we'll have Generation 4 through the door, which would be great. Okay, so take a snap of this, doctors. This is the complete comparison between OneSmile, Invisalign. You do not have Spark here, Angel Align, which you have here, and ClearCorrect. These are the big competitors. This is who we compete against. So we're the only ones that do 100% orthodontist diagnosed treatment planning. Nobody else can. Problem number one we fixed. Problem number two, remote monitoring. We're the only ones that incorporate dental monitoring in our solution because we're the ones that own it. Number three, Smart STL staging. Real-time adjustments, completely embedded for free in our solution because we are dental monitoring as well. Angels say that they can access it, but unless you're buying dental monitoring from me here in Indonesia, you cannot use it. So it's a complete waste. As you can see, the list continues on what we do differently to everyone else, because we built OneSmile on the limitations of all the other major brands. Okay, let's have a look at an example case. This is what you're used to dealing with all the aligner brands. Let's look at a 3-year comprehensive case type. Invisalign, Angel, these brands, they're going to send you all of the aligners in one hit. So will the local brand. They will give you 36 sets of aligners. Now, I've put the same dental monitoring chart up here, but what's going to happen is you're never going to get to aligner number 36 with these brands, ever, in one go. It's going to fail multiple times through that journey because of the treatment planning, the lack of transparency, no dental monitoring, patient compliance. So that's why they built the 3 years or 5 years to treat out these cases, because it takes you that long to do 36 sets of aligners, because you'll get about here, then you'll put all of this in the rubbish, and then start at number 1 again with a new scan. And you'll do that multiple times until you get to the patient's last aligner, and then the patient will say, "Doctor, see this tooth? Can you just rotate that tooth a little bit more, doc?" And then you go, "Okay." Then we have to do a refinement. It takes a very long time. So we no longer follow this trend. This, if you want to do this old history stuff, you can do that with the other brands, not with OneSmile. This is OneSmile. 36 sets of aligners, 3-year comprehensive case type. We keep the same, so you understand what we're doing. But what happens is, we're only going to give you the first 12 of the 36 in the beautiful Chanel box. Okay? So you'll get the first 12 in this box. It's called staging. So when the patient is going along the dental monitoring line, stage 1, as soon as they get the green light when they scan to go into aligner number 12, we do a different process. This is what we do. This is called Smart STL staging. What is a Smart STL? Smart STL is when we get the original iOS scan from your scanner, from the beginning of the treatment plan. We put all the data points all over it because we put it into Paris, France, the big AI. And then what we do is, because we're the manufacturer of the aligners as well, we get all the stage files from Dr. Montoya and his team, and we put that into the AI as well in Paris. So when the patient scans on aligner number 11 to number 12, it auto-generates a smart STL of where the patient's teeth are right now. And that patient could be in Bali, that patient could be in Australia, the patient could be in New York, in London, anywhere. What that is what's actually happened in the patient's mouth over the first 12 sets of aligners. It's the real-time effect of the treatment plan. So what we do is we then take that Smart STL and we superimpose it over the planned stage. And we can see all the deviation from the patient's compliance and lack of compliance. We can see where you positioned your attachments, when you were bonding your attachments. We can see the flash from your attachments, which wasn't planned. And we can make an adjustment for that. I'll show you how it works. This video does not have any sound because there's new videos coming with music and everything to it. But the patient scans, and they can be anywhere on Earth, and you're treating them from Jakarta. We develop the Smart STL automatically. That's what the file looks like when it comes into our factory. And then we get the stage file that was developed by our orthodontist. We then superimpose the two together so we see the deviation around the arch. This is what's called Smart STL staging. So once we apply the superimposition, We then, of course, have the heat map, so we can see the deviation around the arch. The green line is 100 micron. It's the thickness of your hair, not mine. And so anything above that means there's some deviation in the arch. And we have to make an adjustment. And we do that for you because you've already approved the overall treatment plan. So this means we are working for you, not you working for us. So our orthodontist will then get engaged and will make any adjustment required to get the case back on track. So we do that at aligner number 12, we do it at aligner number 24, and we do it on the last aligner, whether it's 36 or whatever number it is. Because we get you to the last aligner, not in 3 years. We get you to the last aligner in 36 sets of aligners. And then we want to make sure that the patient is 100% satisfied here because we've made a correction down there. We've made a correction here and here for you. Real time, that's why it's called proactive orthodontics, because we see it here in Jakarta in our factory. Paris sees it, our engineers in Paris, France. You see it with your patients. Your patients feel it, so we repair and fix it. Real time. Hence the reason why we're called proactive orthodontics now. Pretty cool? It's pretty wild, isn't it? It's like crazy, gila. It's like, how can they do that? Such advanced technology. It's super advanced technology. No, we're the only ones in the world with this. This is 100% exclusive to OneSmile globally. And it's in your backyard. It is here. It is next door. This is built by orthodontists, for orthodontists and general dentists. It's for you. And you know what? It's actually cheaper for you than it is for any other country on earth. Unlike Invisalign, Angel, and the other brands, you pay 20% more than the other countries on earth. And I'm sure you weren't aware of that. So, smart STL staging. It is absolutely incredible. Now, we use smart STL staging or staging right the way through our case types, from kids phase 1, phase 2. The great thing about kids phase 1 and phase 2 is their biology is moving so quickly. So when the children scan, things have moved fast. We can make those adjustments real time because we've only sent a portion of the case, and we can get it to you so quickly because you're here in Indonesia. It's super fast. We're the only company that can keep up with kids' biology, growth patterns. One thing with kids phase 1 is we don't use the smart STL in phase 1 because we need to be able to see the crown of the tooth, the enamel, to be able to put the data points on the tooth. But once we are in permanent dentition in phase 2, we use smart STL staging in phase 2, just like for adults, okay? As you can see here, phase 1 cases with OneSmile, because you have DM, you see the morphing, you see the movement, the speed, the efficiency, comprehensive development diagnosis by our orthodontists, AI-powered growth monitoring with dental monitoring. We see the movements. We're always in advance. We're proactive. Specialist-led blueprinting, orthodontic design treatment plans for kids. Our doctors have done tens of thousands of them. We're here to help you, support you and your patients. Clinically backed retention. Our retention protocols during the stages are unlimited. So we'll always keep up with your patients. We also have a lot of patients that are in Asia, children, where they're expats. You may have some expats like me. So with that, the children have to go back sometimes to their original country. It doesn't mean you stop treating them. They're still your patient from here. We can just send the cases and remaining aligners directly to the patients. I'll quickly jump back because I did skip that. With the packaging. So once we have completed stage 1, we send you stage 2 or stage 3 or stage 4 in these black boxes, in the hitam box. Now, your patients don't need to be in Jakarta. You don't need to bring them back for an intraoral scan or impression. We use Smart STL. We can then send this black box to your patients wherever they are on planet Earth for free. There's no charge in shipping. DHL Express, directly to the patient. Even in Jakarta, we can send them directly to the patient's house to save you time and money and keep the patient in treatment, keep the patient motivated, keep the patient moving. So that's why we developed this system and process. On top of that, we do note that there is a bit of a discrepancy in income in Indonesia. And when we're looking at how do we convert patients, because sometimes treatment seems mahal, yeah? Expensive. Gila. How do we convert the patients? We've been working hard with a lot of doctors here and all over Asia. How do we get more patients? Okay, we built staging. Why don't we stage the lab fee for the doctors to be able to stage it for your patients? So say if we're looking at a case type which is a lab fee for a 3-year comprehensive at 22 juta, stage 1 we could have it at maybe 50% of that or 60% of that. So you can actually reduce your cost to the 60% of what your retail price is to be able to get a greater conversion rate with your patients, get more patients into treatment. Now, if the patient doesn't come back, that's okay, because you've already made your margin on the first stage. You haven't paid the full amount. You've only paid that 50 to 60% in stage 1. So if the patient then opts out of treatment, that's okay. You haven't lost, we haven't lost, because we're working together. And then we can split the next phases to make it more economical, because the patient has to wait 3 more months minimum so they can save up some more money to go into the next phase. So yes, for Indonesia only, no other countries, we will stage our lab fees for you as well to help improve your patient conversion. Bagus? Fantastic. I know I'm taking a lot of time here and we want to hear from Dr. Montoya. So stage 1, stage 2, if there's greater stages, more stages, we will do the same process in the next stages as well. So we do kids, teenagers, adults. There are a couple of checklists that we need, and we can talk to these a little bit later. Delivery of aligners is default to your clinic. You need to ask us to send it to your patients because we're B2B. We only deal with doctors. But if you want us to save you time and money, we will send it to the patients with your consent. And we need the patient information to be able to do that. Smart STL scans, we need patients to use the large mouthpiece. So the big one. The reason being is we need to get a full scan. And I can show you live scans after the session today. For a smaller mouth, we just need to rub a bit of Vaseline around the mouthpiece, and it'll be, kids can use it. My children use it. It's very, very easy. We then have staging is done every 12, 24, 36. Patients don't need to move on to the next aligner because they're waiting for the next stage in the black box. They can wear a line at 12, 24, 36, or whatever number for up to, I've seen patients wear it 30 days, our aligners, because we maintain the elasticity. No problem. Dental monitoring, you do not pause. The AI catches up automatically once you move to the next aligner. IPR, we can only do a maximum of 0.3 IPR per stage. Okay? So if 0.5 is programmed, 0.3 stage 1, 0.2 stage 2. Okay? So we're also running a fantastic promotion for all of our Indonesian doctors. Off our retail prices or lab bill, which is say 22 juta, we're giving 20% off for all cases that are started between now and January. And that's for kids phase 1, phase 2, express, light, moderate, 3-year comprehensive, and 5-year comprehensive. We want you to get starting cases. And these are cases that are approved cases by your patients. We'll also be providing you with all the latest marketing material, the new banners, the new patient brochures from kids to adults. Absolutely everything, and demo kits for your practices. So we have our team of sales reps here, of course. We've got Pak Budi. We know Pak Budi, he's bagus. Everyone's here for Pak Budi. He should be up here. Where is Pak Budi? And we've got Agus, and we've got Isaac, and I'm in and out as well. We've got Dr. Ivan as well, who everyone knows. So we have lots of support so we can get the material to you quickly. On top of that, we do also have what we call the rescue package. Now, some doctors, you've got braces patients that have failed. You cannot get them out of treatment. You've got a line of patients that have failed. You cannot get them out of treatment. We're now extending this. We had this in other countries. We're extending it here to Indonesia as of today, whereby if you have a patient you cannot finish, 13 juta, we put the patient through full orthodontic treatment planning diagnosis from our doctors, take off the braces, take off the attachments. We need all the information, pano, ceph, intraoral scan. We need the patient information, extraoral, intraoral photos, and we'll develop a full plan to get them out of their treatment into retention. Includes smart STL staging, absolutely everything you see here. The only thing with that is you need to put in rescue package into the treatment notes. Now also, we are capital raising at the moment because we're expanding. We're expanding into many countries. So on this tour, over the last 8 seminars, we're offering doctors to get involved in our business, to get an opportunity to take shares, gain shares in a digital orthodontic company, which is OneSmile. So there's many different levels of opportunity. Please scan the QR code if you're a potential investor to increase your portfolio of shares, and we'll send you a deck, and you can have an opportunity to buy shares in OneSmile. Oh, so welcome to OneSmile. I think it just jumped forward. Technology, isn't it amazing? Okay, I might go back a few slides. Sorry about that. Okay, well, welcome to OneSmile. So there is a component of the new innovations coming with dental monitoring. I might leave those to the end because I'm sure you've heard enough of me right now, and some of you have been waiting to see and talk to Dr. Montoya. So I'll hand you over to Dr. Montoya. Thank you so much, everyone.